Jim Schultz here for Calculated Risk, and before we get rolling, don't forget the best things you can do to help us out are to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So today I want to rank my top 3 defined risk strategies. And when it comes to defined risk, I mean, the list really goes on and on and on. You've got iron condors, iron flies, butterflies, you've got call spreads, you've got put spreads. There's so many different things that you could put on. But today I want to narrow down that whole list to my top 3 favorite. And my goal in this video is not to break down all the subtleties and the nuances and all the inner workings of each individual strategy. Those are separate calculated risk episodes in their own right. I just want to give you all a bird's eye view of my top 3 strategies and why I like them. So let's go. Okay, so number 1, vertical spreads. Both short and long for different reasons that we're going to get into here in just a couple of minutes. But a vertical spread is just a really great strategy, especially if you are a brand new beginner trader. It's a clean, simple way to take a directional stance in an underlying stock. So let's start with short verticals. Short vertical spreads are one of the foundational strategies in every trader's toolbox, and for good reason. Now, the setup is very straightforward. I'm just going to sell an out-of-the-money option and then just buy some further out-of-the-money option to define my risk. Very simple, very straightforward. The options I choose are going to be the same type, calls or puts. They're going to be the same underlying stock, and it's going to be in the same expiration. And of course, if I'm bearish, I would do a short call spread. If I'm bullish, I would do a short put spread. And given that this is a short vertical spread, you're going to collect a credit on trade entry, and this is going to be your maximum profit on the trade. And short vertical spreads are going to be much better suited for higher volatility environments. So fairly straightforward with the overall setup. But here's what I really love about short vertical spreads. You're taking a directional stance. You're playing the stock, the underlying instrument, the asset, whatever, to the upside, to the downside, of course. But the directional movement and the directional play is not the only thing you have working for you. You also have time and you have volatility. And because you're selling out of the money options, you have this built-in buffer in the strategy to where you don't even necessarily need to be right directionally in the stock, and you can still make money with a short vertical spread. So I love short vertical spreads, and if you are a brand new, newer trader, I might be a little bit biased, but man, I would focus exclusively on these. If you want to learn how to sell premium in a defined risk strategy, a short vertical spread can be a really, really great starting point. Okay, now long verticals. Now this is a different animal, and it's usually more of a lower implied volatility play. Here, what we typically like to do is straddle the current stock price with our strike selection. So I'm going to buy one strike in the money, and I'm going to sell one strike out of the money. If I'm bullish, I would use call options. If I'm bearish, I would use put options. And this is essentially going to give me a 50-50 shot in the underlying stock. Now, traditionally, playing direction in a given stock, people would think to buy calls if they're bullish or buy puts if they're bearish. But when you buy naked premium like that, you will learn either the easy way or the hard way just how right you have to be and how quickly you have to be right to overcome all that negative theta. With a long vertical spread, you don't have to worry about that. That's because by adding that short option component to the strategy alongside the long option component, you are neutralizing the theta drag on the overall strategy. Now, you still might end up slightly negative theta. You could even end up slightly positive theta, but it's essentially going to be a wash in the end, which is much, much different from buying a call or buying a put. So in my opinion, a long vertical spread for a directional play is a strategically superior way to take a shot in the underlying stock. I mean, if you've ever bought a call or bought a put only to watch the premium bleed out, just bleed out day in and day out, and then you finally get the move that you were waiting for, but you don't make any money, right? That's an extremely painful trade to be in, and the long vertical essentially solves that problem. All right, so number 2 on the list, the expected move butterfly. And if you have followed From Theory to Practice, my live show every day at 1 Central, 2 Eastern on the Tasty Network, you might be surprised to learn that this was not in the number 1 slot. But the vertical spreads are so powerful, and it's such a great strategy for beginner traders, I had to put this guy in the number 2 slot. But the expected move butterfly is another way to take a directional shot in some underlying stock or asset or index, and it's especially nice around a binary event. So think, earnings, NFP, Powell's tie color, etc. So the setup is the same as a standard butterfly, 1 by 2 by 1, where you are symmetric with the width of your wings on both sides of the strategy. And of course, as the name implies, you want to set or situate the short strikes of your strategy right on the edge of the expected move on the side of the market that you want to play. So for example, if I want to play the stock to the upside or the index to the upside, then I'm going to use call options and I'm going to situate my short call strikes right around that edge of the upside of the expected move. And of course, if I want to play something to the downside, now I'm going to use put options and I'm going to situate my short put strikes right on the edge of the bottom side of the expected move. Of course, the wider the wings, the better. But wider wings are going to cost you. You're going to have to pay more to increase the width of your wings. Now, generally speaking, I don't typically like to do butterflies that are less than $5 wide, unless the stock is really cheap, like 30, 40, 50, because I just find that butterflies with wings that are $5 or less just become incredibly difficult to manage, even if you get the move that you were wanting. But naturally, you need to reconcile the width of the wings and the total cost of the butterfly, which is your maximum loss on the strategy, with whatever your position sizing parameters might be. 1% to 3% of overall account size is where we typically like to live with defined risk strategies. And so kind of reconcile the width of the wings that you want on your butterflies with that 1 to 3% guideline. But the cost to enter the strategy is typically relatively low relative to the maximum profit potential. Oftentimes, the maximum profit potential might be 3x or 4x or 5x or 6x of what you pay for the strategy. But understand, true maximum profit potential, like where you actually get maximum profit on the strategy, that would mean two things would have to happen simultaneously. Number one, you pin the short strike. That's not very easy to do. But then also number two, you have to pin that short strike at the moment of expiration. That is going to be nearly impossible. So looking at the maximum profit as a realistic gauge of what I could extract out of the strategy is not necessarily the right way to look at it, in my opinion. Instead, I want there to be lots of room. I want there to be some multiples of the debit that I pay. But if I'm getting in at a 3x or 4x or 5x or 6x multiple in terms of maximum profit relative to what I pay, that just informs me that, okay, maybe I am going to be able to manage this if I get the move that I want at 1x or 1.5x or 2x or maybe even more if I get the perfect move on the strategy. And this is especially true if you're using like the front week or even overnight options for these play, which is my preference, because you don't want there to be a lot of extrinsic value in the short options. So choosing the shorter time frames essentially removes or eliminates a lot of that extrinsic value, making it easier for you to manage if you get the move that you want. And lastly, number 3 on the list, diagonal spread. So this is going to be another low implied volatility play. And with a diagonal spread, we're typically buying one strike in the money or a couple of strikes in the money with our long option that's in the back month. And then we're selling a strike or two out of the money with the short option that's in the front month. And I really love diagonal spreads because they're essentially a cross between a vertical spread and a calendar spread. So you get the directional component of the vertical spread, but you also get the time component of the calendar spread with the multiple expiration cycles. And so if implied volatility is low and if IVRs are suppressed, you don't necessarily have to sit on your hands. It may not be super advantageous to sell a bunch of premium because obviously the research has shown that waiting for volatility to spike before we sell a bunch of premium is probably going to be a much better move from a capital allocation standpoint. But a diagonal spread can be a really nice strategy to deploy when volatility is lower because it gives you multiple ways to win. It gives you that directional angle, it gives you that time angle, and so it can just be a really nice, extremely versatile strategy that you can utilize. In fact, it even gives you multiple ways and multiple opportunities to be right, because if that front month rolls off, like if that front month option expires, you can go into the weekly options and sell more premium against that back month, kind of creating for yourself these mini diagonal spreads. And so it gives you ways to make money in the stock without being directionally right. And so even though it's a debit strategy, it kind of has that short vertical spread feel to it where I can make money and I wasn't even right directionally on the underlying stock. So there you have it. 3 different defined risk strategies with 3 different applications. You've got your short vertical spreads where it's a directional play, but you've also got time and volatility that can make a big impact on your P&L. You've got long vertical spreads that are going to be a great low volatility play when you want to take a directional shot, but you don't want to have to absorb all the negative theta that would come with just buying a call or buying a put. You've got expected move butterflies when you want to take a cheap shot around a binary event. And then of course you've got your diagonal spreads when you want to layer in both a directional component and a time component. All three great strategies that every trader should have in their toolbox. And we'll see you guys next time.